وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُّدَّكِرٍ.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the new episode of the Madinah Arabic tutorial series. Today we will start lesson 9 of book 1 inshallah. So this is going to be part 1 of lesson 9. Lesson 9 has two parts, part A and part B. In part A, we'll learn about words coming as adjectives in a sentence. Adjectives, as we know, are the words that describe the quality of the noun that it comes with. For example, let's take the phrase a big house. Here the word big is the adjective of the noun house. So in English we know that the adjective comes before the noun being qualified, as in this case, big is coming before house. Now let's see how we translate a big house to Arabic. Baytun kabirun. So baytun is a house and kabirun is big. As we can see here, the order of the adjective and the noun is switched. That is actually the way it is in Arabic. The adjectives come after the noun that is being qualified. Let's learn some terminologies now. We call the adjective na'at in Arabic, written as na'atun. And the noun being qualified is called man'ut, written as man'utun. Can you repeat after me? Na'at, man'ut. In our example here, we know that both baytun and kabirun are, first of all, the ism type words. But kabirun is coming as the adjective of baytun. Therefore, we say the ism kabirun is na'at, and the ism baytun is man'ut. Here is a quick rule about na'at and man'ut combinations. In Arabic, na'at and man'ut agree in following matters. First, na'at wa man'ut agree in gender. In other words, the na'at of the mudhakkar man'ut is also mudhakkar. And the na'at of the mu'annath man'ut is also mu'annath. For example, waladun saghirun, a small boy. Here, saghirun is na'at, and waladun is man'ut. Both are coming as mudhakkar. But if you want to say a small girl, we say bintun saghiratun. Here, saghiratun is na'at, and bintun is man'ut. Because the man'ut bintun is mu'annath, the na'at saghiratun is also coming in mu'annath gender with ta marbuta ending. Another example, qalamun maksurun, a broken pen. Nafidatun maksuratun, a broken window. Here, both maksurun and maksuratun are na'at. In the first example, it is coming as mudhakkar because the man'ut qalamun is mudhakkar. And in the second example, the man'ut nafidatun is mu'annath, therefore, its na'at is also mu'annath. The second aspect that the na'at and man'ut should match is the definiteness. In other words, if the man'ut is nakira, the na'at also comes as nakira. And if the man'ut is ma'rifah, the na'at will also be ma'rifah. Here are a couple of example sentences. Bilalun mudarrisun jadidun. Bilal is a new teacher. And al-mudarrisul jadidu fil fasli. The new teacher is in the classroom. In the first sentence, jadidun is na'at and mudarrisun is man'ut. And both are nakira. And in the second sentence, al-jadidu is na'at and it is ma'rifah. That is because the man'ut al-mudarrisu is ma'rifah. The third aspect that the na'at and man'ut agree is the case. Here are a few examples. هذا مسجد جديد. This is a new masjid. أنا في مسجد جديد. I am in a new masjid. In the first sentence, the ism masjidun is the man'ut, and it is marfu'. Therefore, na'at jadidun is coming as marfu'. In the second sentence, the man'ut masjidin is majrur because of the harf jar coming before it, and its na'at jadidin is therefore also majrur. Also notice in these sentences that both man'ut and na'at are nakira. Here are a couple of examples with ma'rifah na'at wa man'ut. Al-masjidul jadidu kabirun. The new masjid is big. Man fil masjidil jadidi. Who is in the new masjid? In the first sentence, the man'ut and the na'at al-masjidu and al-jadidu are both marfu'. In the second sentence, al-masjidi and al-jadidi are both majroor. Finally, the na'at and man'ut also agree in number like singular, dual, and plural. We will get back to this last rule when we cover the plurals and duals in the future lessons, insha'Allah. Now let's jump to the first exercise of the lesson and see more example sentences for na'at and man'ut. The first sentence, Muhammadun talibun qadimun. Muhammad is an old student. This is the ismiya sentence and the mubtada is Muhammadun. And the ism talibun is its khabar. And the ism qadimun is coming as na'at for talibun. So what would be man'ut then? Talibun, right? It is functioning as khabar and man'ut at the same time. And as we can see here, both na'at and man'ut are coming as mudhakkar, marfu' and nakirah. The second sentence, أذلك الرجل مدرس جديد؟ لا هو طبيب جديد. We can translate this sentence as, is that man a new teacher? No, he is a new doctor. Can you identify the na'at and man'ut in the question? Jadidun is the na'at and mudarrisun is the man'ut. Very good. And in the response, after the harf la, the dhamir huwa is coming as the mubtada of the jumla ismiyya. Tabibun is khabar, jadidun is na'at, and its man'ut or the ism that it is qualifying is tabibun. Here again, both na'at and man'ut match in gender, definiteness, and case. Both are mudhakkar, nakira, and marfu'. Sentence 3. هذا درس سهل. What would be the translation of this sentence? We should translate it as, this is an easy lesson. So here, هذا is the mubtada, and darsun is the khabar, and sahlun is the na'at for darsun. So the translation of this sentence, as we said, is, this is an easy lesson. Now let's compare it to this somewhat similar sentence. هذا الدرس سهل. How do we translate this sentence? This sentence should be translated as, this lesson is easy. If you look at the structure of this sentence, ad-darsu and sahlun is not a man'ut and na'at combination. Can you tell why they are not man'ut and na'at? That is because these two ism do not match in definiteness. Ad-darsu is ma'rifah and sahlun is nakira. As we learned earlier, both na'at and man'ut need to match in definiteness. Therefore, for this jumla ismiya, we say hada is the mubtada and ad-darsu is coming as badal for hada. If you remember, we learned in lesson 8 that the badal for the ismul ishara are ma'rifah. So here ad-darsu is the badal. And the ism nakira sahlun is functioning as the khabar of the sentence. We can see here that the subtle change in the definiteness of a noun can change the structure of the sentence in Arabic, which of course changes its meaning as well. Sentence 4. Abbasun tajirun shahirun. Abbas is a famous trader. Here, shahirun is coming as a na'at of the ism tajirun. So tajirun is man'ut. Also, Abbasun is the mubtada, and tajirun is the khabar of the jumla ismiyya. Sentence 5. Bilalun muhandisun kabirun. Bilal is a big engineer. Here, Bilalun is the mubtada, muhandisun is khabar, kabirun is na'at for muhandisun. Sentence 6. Al-Inkiliziyatu lughatun sa'batun. Here, Al-Inkiliziyatu means English. Lughatun means a language. And sa'batun is difficult. So we translate the sentence as, English is a difficult language. Which ism is the na'at here? Sa'batun, right? Did you notice it is in mu'annath gender with ta marbuta ending? That is because the man'ut lughatun is mu'annath. So the na'at is having to match the man'ut in gender. The next sentence. أأنت رجل غني؟ لا أنا رجل فقير. Are you a rich man? No, I'm a poor man. Can you identify the two man'ut and na'at combinations in these sentences? The first combination is rajulun ghaniyun, right? Ghaniyun is the na'at for the man'ut rajulun. And the second one is rajulun faqirun. Rajulun is man'ut and faqirun is na'at. Sentence 8. Al-Qahiratu madinatun kabiratun. Cairo is a big city. Al-Qahiratu is the city Cairo, and it is the mubtada of the sentence. Madinatun is the khabar, and kabiratun is the na'at for madinatun. Here again, both kabiratun and madinatun are in agreement in gender and definiteness, since they are not in man'ut combination. Sentence 9. أأنت مدرس قديم؟ لا، أنا مدرس جديد. Are you an old teacher? No, I'm a new teacher. So here, the two ism type words قديم and جديد are coming as na'at for مدرس. In the response, أنا is the mubtada, مدرس is the khabar. And the final sentence. أحامد طالب كسلان؟ لا، هو طالب مجتهد. Here the ism kaslanu means lazy, and mujtahidun is hardworking. Both are coming as na'at for the ism talibun. We can translate these two sentences as, is Hamid a lazy student? No, he's a hardworking student. As we can see here in the second man'ut na'at combination, both talibun and mujtahidun are coming as nakira, or indefinite as indicated by their tanween ending. Now let's take a closer look at the first man'ut and na'at combination. Talibun kaslanu. Can you notice something looking strange or unusual here? It has something to do with the ending of the ism kaslanu, right? Kaslanu is the na'at for the nakira ism talibun. So kaslanu should also be nakira. That is why it doesn't have the definite article al as expected. But what is strange is that this ism doesn't end with tanween. It is not kaslanun, but kaslanu. There is no typo here. The reason for that is because the ism kaslanu belongs to a special subcategory of ism words called diptote, which cannot accept tanween. They just end with dhamma even in nakira form. Insha'Allah, we'll talk a bit more about such ism in the next episode. We are done with exercise 1. Let's pause our tutorial here for now. We'll get back to the main text of the lesson next time, insha'Allah. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.